to Sambi Fashion's tutorial. My cousin gave me this outfit. It was a shirt, a long high-low shirt. I decided to upcycle. So I can't wait for you all to see what I have done to this. And we're gonna get this started. Let's go, people. Now we're gonna start with the garment. We're gonna turn it inside out, and we're gonna use the seam ripper to take both sleeves off. And we're gonna also take the bottom half of it off. Now with this garment, it is serge and single stitch. So the first thing that you need to do is take the single stitch out and then go on the inside and take the serge stitches out. It's also easier once you take one thread out, you can just pull it gently and the thread will unravel itself. So just be careful on doing it. Try not to rip it. Just use your seam ripper to get the thread and then pull it gently. Also, this is an easier trick to take items apart. Grab the single stitch and the serge stitch at the same time with the seam ripper. Pull it, you break the string, the thread, and it will definitely go a little quicker. These are some easy tips that I have acquired over the times of me sewing and try to find out quicker ways to make certain things, or just in general, so I can help other people out when they're sewing, because people think sewing is so complicated. It really isn't. Okay, so as you all see right now, I've taken off the sleeve. So I went to go try it on again to see if I was going to take the seam out of the waist. Well, it's cut at an angle, so now I'm going to have to cut here to create a natural waistline for myself. Because it's a hollow skirt, if that's what it's going to be, a hollow two-piece skirt set, sleeveless. So now I'm going to have to cut it to adjust it to my body type. So we're just going to cut it with the scissors across an inch down from the seam. So this is another technique that I have also learned over time, and it is a great use of your material and your scissors. So what I do is that when I'm cutting apart an item that I'm going to upcycle, I don't want to use it, take off the seam. I just use my scissors and cut directly in the middle of the seam and the top and the bottom. And that way it'll cut in to be a clean cut, and you're going along with the fabric and the seam of the garment. As I'm showing you right here, as you can tell, that this actually has an angle, and it has the elastic back to it. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna cut straight through the upper line, which is right here. That way everything will still be even, and we'll still be on the same length, same line as the seam itself. Now be careful, so take your time and do it. This way you won't lose a lot of fabric when you're upcycling a garment. And you also want to make sure that the seam at the back at the bottom is facing down as you're cutting through. That way it'll have it easier for you to go through it without having any hiccups. Okay, now that we have all the pieces taken apart that we're going to be using, these are all the pieces I'm going to be using. The top part of the outfit and the bottom part to make the two-piece. And I'm using the sleeves to create the waistband for the top and the bottom. Alright, you all, I have prepared my machine. I have my navy blue thread, dual duty XP, all purpose, and I also getting ready to sew. So now you all about to watch this magic work, and I'm going to go by step so you can get it, and it's easy peasy to do. Okay, so now we are going to measure our true waist. Most women do not know what our true waist is. It's not right here. That's your lower waist. This is your true waistline. You're going to take the tape measure. And the reason that you're having the tape measure so you can measure out the elastic band that we're using to make the skirt band. Okay, so now what you want to do is make sure that you take the excess thread that was on the sleeves of your garment that you're upcycling, and make sure all the thread is away, and then you're going to sew and make a hem, 3/8 hem on your sewing machine. Okay, so then also I found out this little trick that I like doing. In order for your thread not to jump out of your needle as you're sewing, you want to pull the bobbin thread and the top thread out of the needle. Pull it at least maybe a couple inches back from the back so it won't jump as you're sewing. I've had that happen to me several times. Also, an easier tip to make sure that you fold it right as you're sewing. You can also iron the folds in there in the sleeve to keep them on there, and that way that'll be your guide. I like to do freestyling because it's much easier for me, and of course I've been doing this for a long time, so I am well trained in this because I'm very self-taught. So right now I'm getting ready to use the sleeve to make a hem for the top part of the top two-piece outfit. So we're going to measure it with my trusty ruler. So I measured out to 12 inches, and I gave myself an allowance of 3/8 centimeters. I'm going to cut it, and we're going to measure it in 3 separate sections so we can make sure that we have the right measurements. One section right here for the left side seam. Then we're going to take the sleeve and measure it again and see how many inches it is. Now, with this being elastic at the back of it, you have to make sure that you give yourself a good allowance with it. So right now this is at 14 inches on the back. So what we're going to do is do a 14-inch measurement on the sleeve from where we started at. That's 12. And then we're going to add 2 more inches, which is going to make it 14. So we're going to go out a 1/2 inch so we have enough leeway. So all I'm going to do is cut it. Instead of using a marker, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right here so I know where my seam is and where I'm going to start cutting. So right now all I'm doing is cutting off the excess fabric around where they did the serge at, just to get a nice smooth cut. Again, these are techniques that I use that's easier for me because I have been sewing for a very long time, since I was 7. I would suggest to have a cutting table and lay it as straight as you can and cut off the excess fabric around the waist. Now we're going to sew the elastic around, single stitch around the waist. Now you can make it even, but my thing is that leave the skirt the way it is, and you can just fold it over as you're sewing to make it even all the way around. Now we're going to line the elastic around the waist to see how much we have to fold, which is going to be 1 inch. So what we're going to do is fold over, get our pin, and pin it on. Now later we're going to insert the elastic, but we just kind of want to get a measurement of what we're doing and how wide the waistband needs to be. We're going to sew the hem of the waistline so we can insert the elastic. I'm already measured it to my waist length with the elastic and with the tape measure, and make sure that it was just my waist size. So now we're going to sew it up, and then we're going to insert the elastic. Okay everyone, this is the finished product. I am so proud of it. I made a 2-piece. I took the sleeves off, as you can tell. And this is the 2-piece bottom. I kept the buttons on and just made an elastic waist, sewed the elastic waist together. It's high-low, as you can tell, all the way in the back. I kept the ruffles in the front and the collar. And this is the two-piece. This was super easy and super fun to work with. The material was really easy to work with, cutting it, doing the things that I needed to do, making sure I had the sizes right for me and everything. So I really enjoy making this. So if you all like this tutorial, this sewing tutorial, click like and subscribe and share. And if you want me to do anything, any other upcycle outfit, put your comments below. Thank you all. Have an awesome one.